Vroom, 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 vroom. Honk, honk. Get in, losers. We're going struggling. Vroom, 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 vroom.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another ride in the struggle bus, where every wheel is an empty triangle. We're back with a bus ride. It's been a long time, and I felt bad. Trust me, I felt bad, because I know a lot of you guys really like these videos, and it's been a long while since I've done one. So I am doing one today. Isn't that exciting? So today we are playing as a 14K on OGS, so right at that sweet spot of the double-digit Q range that we like to help with these games. So I'm really hoping that our opponent can learn something from this. As per always, I'd like to thank my opponent for playing us today. I'd like to thank you guys for watching these videos, and I'd like to thank my Patreon subscribers for supporting the channel. So with that introduction out of the way, let's just jump into this game.
Vroom, 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 vroom.
Okay, here we go. We are white against a 14K, so we'll be sticking to the basics. We'll see if we have to dip into the beyond the basics at all, but for now, we're going to be going for the corners, then the sides, then the center. And our opponent is doing the same, so that is good. We will just do a 4-4 with a 3-4 facing. I like having some asymmetry there. Just have two different corners so we can show two different variations depending on how the game goes. Our opponent has done the same thing with a 4-4 and a 3-4. So our friend chooses to take an extension off of their 3-4 stone, and that's fine. It's a great move. So we can do two things. We can extend ourselves, or we can go and take the double wing away. We're just going to extend as well. I like playing this high 2-point extension, but if you wanted to play basically any of these four moves are going to be fine. So typically when black does this, they'll often follow up with a move over here. Our friend approaches perfectly fine. We are just going to, actually, you want to know what? I don't pincer too much. We're going to pincer. I was going to say, we're just going to back off, but you want to know what? Let's mix things up a little bit. We're going to do a pincer and see how this goes. Okay, our friend attaches. I think I'm just going to play the Hane. When your stones get attached to, your first intuition should be to Hane as long as it works, as long as you can handle this cut. And that takes a little bit of reading sometimes, or just intuition, or just, trial by fire. See if your opponent wants to cut or not. Okay, so in this situation, what do we want to do? I think I'm just going to connect. It's simple. We can look at playing the Atari, but I'm just going to connect. Admittedly, I am not familiar with what this can turn into when you pincer and then they attach. It seems playable. Here, I think black probably should have connected here. The reason is now we can go play the 2-2, which is a large move in its own right to get the corner. And now this stone can be captured. It's very small now, but later in the game, we could capture this stone. What a great move. What a great move from our friends. I am going to reward this good move. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but I'll call it a criticism, but a criticism that I have been given in the past that's very constructive is I don't reward my opponents for playing good moves. This was a good move. Capturing the stone was not great. So I wanted to reward our friend for that. So now he's going after this stone. We are going to try to strengthen this stone a little bit. How do we want to do that? Let's just go and make a little tiny base here. We could have looked at L17. We could have looked at jumping out. But since we're up against black's really, really strong group now, we really need to respect that. So I'm just playing this little tiny jump just to keep my stones very, very strong. So this is a little unfortunate playing a early first line move. We've got the rules over there. It says we cannot be playing early first line moves. Here I am just going to play one more move. make sure this group's nice and strong, gives us a good base, gives our opponent some timing to maybe find you know, a better move than this. These are the types of moves that we need to eliminate in our games. And the reason for that is that this is purely just to make life, right? But black was already nice and healthy, especially with getting this jump out. This is just too small for this early in the game. We will block here. We could have connected. We could have ignored this. Unfortunately, black plays another early first line move. So we will go over that a little more in the review and go over why that isn't the greatest. In this situation, it gives us the opportunity to just play a big Tanuki. And so we took a very big point. Our friend plays also a big move. Needs to be a little careful because of this cut here. So now I think let's just go take an extension off of these two stones. And we'll keep it nice and easy. Just play a 2-point extension. We could have played something over here. We could have played something a little more. Very interesting move. So now the question is, do we just want to block here and take a pretty big corner and a pretty big side, or do we want to block here? But I think the corner's bigger, right? Don't you guys think the corner's bigger than the side right now? So let's go protect the corner. I'm going to play here, and this should get us a good amount of points in the corner. And I could play here. This would be a pretty punishing move. I'm not in the mood to play that right now. We're just going to extend and take the corner. But if you guys wanted to play here to punish the shape of your opponent, I would not fault you guys at all. I like this move. This is a good shape point. I'm going to play here to try to keep these connected and give black the opportunity to finish making the base. If I was playing really hard, I could have played something like b7, but that is not what we want to be doing right now. So black's making a pretty good side here. Black's got this corner. This stone looks a little lonely, though. It looks a little lonely. So let's go approach this one. Should we 3-3? We should probably 3-3. Or we can approach because we've already got a stone over here. Let's approach because we've already got a stone over here. And so whatever variation we do here can probably strengthen up what we've got here. This is a little unfortunate, right? Black is kind of running away. And so I'm just going to jump out. We want to make good shape. If you wanted to play a move like this or like this, that would be okay. But I want to play here to surround the corner. Make some good shape, though this is pretty wide, right? This is still a little loose. If black played something like Q13, this is a fine move. This is a fine move. We treat this as an attachment, and we do want to respond to attachments. So I'm just going to, we can play here or here. I'm going to play here. I want to strengthen our group, keep the base. And if black hanes, then I'm going to play the other one. If black had pushed, I probably would have pushed this way. This feels like the appropriate move for black. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this, see if we can get black to play Q18. We'll connect, which is pretty horrific shape. But again, I want to give black some opportunities to find some good moves. This one seems reasonable. It does make us stronger, though, right? Black has attached to one of our stones. We respond to attachments. I think it would be a little too slow to just connect to this stone. This cut really isn't that important. So we're going to go and play this. Especially now that we've played S14, this cut is not very important because we can just Atari and then connect. Okay, let's finish out our base here. We'll go play here so that black cannot extend off of these two stones. This makes good shape here. This fully solidifies the corner. But doesn't really do anything to attack this group. This is a good move. I like this move. This was kind of like the last big area on the board. So what do we want to do now? We're in the middle game. So we want to care about strength of groups and we want to care about potential. Black's got a lot of potential over here. So let's go try to do something about that. So let's go play here. This is done not to claim points on corner, but just to reduce here. So yeah, so black looks to block off the territory. That is good. That is a good plan. If we want to reduce, we could play a move like d10, and I think that's what we're going to play, just to make sure that black's territory doesn't grow anymore. Black can attach. I think that is a fine move. I'm just going to extend. We could Hane. We could Peep. But I think we're going to extend here. If black connects, I will extend again. And again, this was done just to reduce the territory. We weren't looking to attack. We weren't looking to kill. We just want to keep our opponent's potential down and grow our potential. And we can do so by, poking at weak groups, keeping our groups strong, and that sort of thing. This threatens to push through, so black needs to be pretty careful here. I'm just going to extend. That makes this sensei. So I like this. Black has fully sealed up their territory. We've gotten some good strength here. So we've got some good strength in the center. I don't think we're going to get any points in the center, but we've got some good strength there. So what do we want to do now? We do probably want to see if we can get something in the center and maybe go reduce what's going on here. So we can jump in here. And that's probably what we're going to do. I imagine most of you watching this, you're looking at like, why has Gabe not played this very natural looking invasion? Well, let's play it because it is a very natural looking invasion / reduction move. So let's see how our friend wants to handle this. Our friend wants war. I like it. I think it's a good choice. I think it's a good choice. So they jump out. We will also jump out. As black gets stronger, I like this move. As black gets stronger, it makes this weaker. As black gets strength, black can reduce what's going on here. I like this move a lot. This is looking to stunt our potential here. It's an attachment. We respond to attachments. And so black pulls back. I think that's a pretty good sequence. Let's get this group to safety. We're going to jump one more time just to get ahead. Black could consider a move like K7 or J7 to make this group a little stronger. But black plays here. Seems reasonable. Seems reasonable to me. So do we want to strengthen this side? Do we want to strengthen here? Let's strengthen this side so that there are no shenanigans that can happen here. And now we just need to take care of this one group. We've kind of got this one weak group. Black is doing a good job. They played K7. That was a move that I thought would be good for them to play. So I'm glad that they have played it. I'm going to play, admittedly, a very slow move, but it does a really good job of connecting these two groups. So while, we're not getting, it's not a very flashy move, right? We're not really growing potential. We're not really getting points, but we are fixing the only weakness we have on this board. So with black playing here, we need to be a little careful. We've got this cut here, and not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of the cut. So we are going to go play here as a means to kind of poke at this a little bit while also looking at protecting this cut. I will extend. We've got a cut here and a cut here. As black gets stronger, we just need to be aware that this is a thing. So black is kind of just pushing. It looks like they might be trying to build territory. It's going to be tough to get territory there. We've got a lot of potential here, and I think I'm probably going to want to extend that. So I'm going to play this. This is just a very light reduction on this corner. If black doesn't follow it up, we get the monkey jump. And I think that's probably worth playing. It's a pretty big move, but also the center, this area, is pretty large. So let's go do something about that. Let's play a very fast move. This will ensure that black doesn't get anything over here, and potentially grows points for us. Black looks to push through. I'm just going to block. We probably didn't need to, but it's a very safe move. It's a move that we're happy to play because it helps firm up this territory. So now with this, we have to consider, are we worried about what's going on up here? And maybe we are. So we could look at playing a first line move, but I think it's too early to play a first line move, right? We could play something like this, but also too small. So I'm going to run out towards the center. It's almost always better if the choice is live small and get surrounded, or run out into the center and potentially not be alive locally, running out is often the way to go. Okay, so yeah, black wants to contend the center. No problem with that. That is seems like a fine plan. So we will do similar. Make sure that this turns into dame, and we should be ahead in points here. This right side is quite large. This corner is pretty big. This corner is reasonably big, and black has a pretty good corner here and a pretty good corner and a pretty good side. But you know, without doing some counting, I think we are ahead. So we can keep things nice and calm for now. Okay, so black plays here. That's a very unfortunate move. Very, very slow. There was a lot going on over here. This was really not the focal area. So yeah, so a little unfortunate there. I'm going to play a move like this to try to grow this potential, see if we can get some more points here. And we're getting pretty close to endgame at this point in time. Black looks to push through. We will cut, or we will Atari rather. This cut is a little dangerous now that black has played S15. So I'm going to respect that and play this little shape move here. The reason I'm playing here instead of just connecting is this is a little better for when black plays T14. Okay, so black looks to connect up. So let's go transition into endgame, shall we? So when we're looking at endgame, we want big sente moves if we can find them. And what's the king of big endgame sente? The monkey jump. So let's go do it. We will go do the monkey jump. This will heavily reduce this corner, and it'll often do it in sente. Black could just tanuki this, because a lot of the damage has already been done with this move. So we will pull back to go connect to this stone. Black can play T5 or T2. Either would work. I know it looks like T2 doesn't work because we can just Atari, but then black gets to take this Atari and this Atari and this Atari, and then it all dies. And actually, we don't even need to respond to this. Don't even need to respond to it. So we will go and play this sente move. Because black will need to block, we will get to connect. And now black needs to block this cut. Okay. And we'll go play this move. I believe this is sente. It smells like sente to me, because if we push through here, we're able to separate and probably go after that stone. But this one is definitely sente. Black will block, and we connect, and now black can lose this stone. So black will need to play something like B12 or B11, otherwise this stone will die. So good job there. And we will play this. Small, but it's sente. Black cannot let us push through because then these three stones would die. Eventually, we're going to run out of sente moves. But for now, and that might be right now, I don't see too much more for sente. So now we're going to play the biggest gote move. Is that something like J2 or is that something like K11? K11 looks reasonable to me, so that's the way we will go. Okay, and then black connects. I think we can just block. We're going to block. We have to be really careful about this though because of all these cuts. So I'm actually just going to extend here to limit the amount of cuts that we have. That it was the intent of this move. I think we were safe, but needed to be sure. This one is sneaky. Oh, black found a sneaky on us. I missed this. This is good. This is really good. You want to know what? I want to see if black sees it. I want to see if you guys see it. There's a really sneaky move here. It's a really sneaky move. I hope our friend finds it. Unfortunately, he did not find it. Oh, we'll leave it there for a little bit. I want to see if you guys see it. I want to see if he eventually finds it. We'll give him 5 or so more moves, and then we will fix it. Next time we get Sente, we will go fix it. How about that? Okay, so black is taking all of their Sente moves, and I did say that next time I had Sente, I was going to fix it, so I'm going to fix it right now. So if black had played here, it threatens to kill these 2 stones. If we play this, black can play here, puts this stone in Atari, and then plays here and captures these 4 stones. Turns out, this was bad shape. I should have probably just connected. Okay, so black plays here. Does not do too much. Okay, at this point in time, we are in pretty much the nitty-gritty parts of endgame. So I'm going to do a new style now. I'm just going to speed up the game so you guys can see how the game played out. So you can at least see the moves, but I think most of the commentary, most of what I wanted to say about this game is done. And then we will get to the review. So I will see you guys at the review. Okay, so here we are at the end of the game, and I think our opponent did pretty well here. You know, had some slow moves up here, but let's go take a look at the review of this game and see where our friend could have played better. Okay, so here we are in the review, and our friend, started things off really well. So typically here, the common move is to play A. Black can also look at jumping out, though I feel this is playable. Doesn't seem like it's too bad. The issue here is black would typically want to play something like this, and the stone's just kind of in the way, and so I'm not sure what we would really do. But maybe this is just okay. This move, however, a little unfortunate because when we play here, we do get the cut. Though loved this move from my opponent because not every stone is important, and C18 isn't hugely important right now. So this was I liked this move. But here, unfortunately, I think black went in the wrong direction. Here, it's tricky, but this is probably where I would have played. The reason that I'm considering this move is I mentioned here that we can play A or B. When black plays B, white will typically jump out here, and then black plays here. This is the continuation, and then it's typically going to go something like this, and this is considered even enough, right? So when we get to here, and we get this. I feel like this is still probably a continuation that seems reasonable for black. Um, but yeah, unfortunately went in the wrong direction. And then this is probably, I'd say that this is probably the biggest mistake of the game, just from like a fundamental standpoint, from a basic standpoint, is it's much too early to be playing a first line move. So first of all, black pretty much already has an eye at f19, right? If black just completely ignores and white wants to play here, like I guess technically no, it's still an eye. It's still an eye. I was about to say, like, we could do a throw in shenanigan to kill the eye, but at that doesn't even work because black can just extend. So there's already an eye there. But even if there wasn't already an eye, let's just say that white plays here, and so this definitively takes the eye away if black doesn't play. We still want to just jump out or something, play something that moves us in a position that we want to be going. We never want to be playing backwards. We never want to be playing these first line moves this early in the game. It's only move 21. It's much too early to be playing this first line move. Worth pointing out, I've got a first line move here, but I wasn't happy to play it. Remember, I said that this was a mistake. Um, so yeah, so a little unfortunate there, and then black continues with a small move here. I think black did this because black wanted to get life, right? Black has an eye here and an eye here now. But this group was never at risk of being in trouble. Because again, here's the thing. If black wants to keep on jumping out and get strength this way, if white plays here to poke out the second eye, that's fine. That means we get 2 moves in a row. There's no way that this group's ever going to die or even be able to be attacked here. It's just too strong. So yeah, so these 2 moves already, F19, H18, are honestly like if black had passed twice. We refer to these as pass moves because they impact the board so little that it's almost like playing a pass move. Just like here, we're pushing the pass button rather. So black has now played 3 moves, 1, 2, 3, that really don't change the game much. If we took these stones off the board, is black weak here? Not really. Black still only has 1 eye, right? Never mind, black does have 2 eyes, but it's just so unnecessary, and it gives us all these free moves. I think this was a reasonable move. I think this was probably asking for a bit much. Now that white has played a 3rd move here, we kind of have to respect the strength a little bit. We could potentially approach here if we wanted to reduce. We could approach here. We could approach here. We have a lot of options on this board. This just potentially gets us into some trouble, right? Because we play here, and then white played a really slow move, or black played a really slow move rather. And if we play here, this is going to end. This is going to be so painful for black. I don't even know. Black looks dead. Just black looks dead. I don't think there's a way to for black to live here. And even if black lives, it's still going to be pretty rough. But our friends did a good job of getting out pretty quickly. Here, I'm honestly unsure of where I would have played. I probably would have kicked. And then considered either just playing here or playing here to help defend the corner. Likely this. I think this is a little stronger, but there's still definitely a lot of Aji here. So it's definitely a little tricky for black because white can do stuff like this later, and black really can't do this because of this Atari and this Atari. So we definitely need to be careful. Maybe this is the move then, which black did play, but I feel like getting this exchange first would be helpful. So we jumped out. I think black handled this fairly well. I think for the situation that black was in, I think black handled this fairly well. I liked this as well, and this, and I think black did okay with that as well. So here, important thing to know is at any point in time, black can connect these 2 stones by playing this. It's tricky. It looks like maybe they can't connect because we can do this. But then we Atari, and then we play here. And if white tries to get tricky and take this cut, white is locally dead. So white needs to be very, very careful with that. So typically when black does this, white's going to capture, and then black can fix this cut or this cut depending on which one's more important. So important to know that that is always there. And I like this as a response. I like all of this. I liked this as well. I think black handled this pretty well. Here, I do think well, no, because we can still always just connect underneath. Black can probably Tanuki. So you want to know what? I don't dislike this move. This seems reasonable because if white looks to do something like this, we can cut. So I liked black's idea here, and I liked black strengthening on this side as well. This was probably a little much. Again, we can always connect underneath. But even if we couldn't, I think jumping out a little faster is probably the way to go. But this isn't terrible. There's really, there really isn't much to do in the center. I guess this is probably getting close to one of the last times we can reduce this. So maybe, black could do this. Maybe black could start with this peep and then do a move like this, and just reduce this way, and then come flying out. That could be a way for black to to try to claw back into it a little bit. But yeah, letting us get all these moves to solidify this large area was just a little too much, and at this point in time, the game kind of runs its course. But I do think that our friend played pretty well in the middle game. Honestly, I think he fell behind very early again with these three moves. But if we remove these 3 stones off the board and give black 3 more stones on the board, obviously, if we gave them now, wouldn't affect it as much as if he got it earlier. But like if black had a stone here, a stone here, and a stone here, this looks like a much more even game. These stones just really aren't that important. So that's the big advice I'd have for our friends is, whoops, let's get back to this move, is, focusing on the rule that says to not play early first or second line moves unless you need them for life and death. And that's not where we're at right now. This group can't be attacked. It's too strong. So we can just run out this way. Again, it's usually better to run out than to live locally small. So that's probably the big takeaway that I have for this one for our friends. Hopefully that's a good takeaway for you guys as well. Anyway, that's really all I have to say about this game. Excited to be able to do one of these guys. I know it's been a long while. I am going to try to get back to it, but we'll see. We'll see how the timing works out. I've been playing a lot of games recently, so it's been tougher to fit these in. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Anyway, as for always, thanks for coming out for another Ride and Struggle Us Where. Everyone's in the triangle. Have a good one, guys.